Some stories leave behind more questions than answers. This is one of them. 31 wild elephants started walking with one purpose. Days later, the world was left asking, how did they know? The elephants traveled for 2 days as though something was calling them. But where were they heading? Their destination was the home of a man who had just passed away. Passed away in the farthest corner of the reserve. But how did the elephants know? The answer begins with one tremendous elephant and one kind-hearted man who dared to earn her trust. Let's rewind to the day when these intelligent mammals were feared by humans. Wildlife conservationist Dr. Ian Redmond once said, "When the elephants walk, the forest walks with them." But what happens when the same mighty ivories enter human space? A herd of African elephants had broken through fences, wandered into villages and left people terrified. Parents rushed their children indoors. Farmers feared for their crops. Every fresh report made elephants sound even more threatening. Soon, the question was no longer how to stop the elephants. It was how long people could afford to wait. Left with no other choice, that was when the wildlife officials made a heartbreaking decision. The herd had become too dangerous. If nothing changed, every elephant would have to be shot to death. For almost everyone, the answer seemed obvious. But for one man, it raised a very different question. What if the elephants were never the problem? That man was Lawrence Anthony. He was known as a conservationist. Many admired his dedication. But now, most people believed he was talking the impossible. Yet, Lawrence saw something others had missed. Animals do not wake up one day and choose fear. Something leaves them frightened. Pain, loss, mistreatment, the memory of danger. Unlike humans, animals cannot explain these experiences with words. Their actions tell the story. So, instead of asking, how do we stop them, Lawrence asked, what caused them to be afraid of us? That one question turned the future of 9 elephants. The herd was led by a gigantic female, Nana. Every elephant looked at her before making a move. If Nana turned left, the herd followed. If Nana sensed danger, everyone moved together. This is how elephant families survive. Many people think elephants follow instincts, but their lives are built on something far greater: memory. An older female can remember where water was found years earlier during a terrible drought. She can recognize familiar faces after many years apart. She protects every young elephant like her own. When one elephant is hurt, the family responds. When one dies, many scientists have observed behaviors that reveal holding. Lawrence believed Nana had learned one lesson above all others. Humans brought danger. Her scars had taught her that humans could not be trusted. Yet, one man was asking for that chance. Subsequently, the elephants were moved to to the Lawrence Wildlife Reserve. Many believed the nightmare was over. They were wrong. The first nights brought one shock after another. Massive trees crashed to the ground. Steel fences twisted and broke. The elephants pushed with elephantine strength, eager to escape. Workers repaired the damage. The next night, the fences came down again. Hope began to disappear. People looked at Lawrence. You gave it your best. Oh, but it failed. Now, there is only one option left. But Lawrence refused to accept those words. He had asked for one chance. He declined to let fear write the final chapter. Then he made a decision that stunned everyone. He stopped demanding trust. He decided to earn it. Instead of driving back home, he parked his van at a safe distance from the herd and stayed there. He ate his meals beside that van, slept there as if it was his new home. Day after day, night after night, the message remained, I'm still here. Lawrence wanted the elephants to know that he was no passing visitor. He wanted to convey that he belonged in their world without threatening it. Every rain or sunshine, dawn or dusk, relayed the same promise. Some evenings he spoke softly to Nana. Other evenings he left his presence speak for him. Every day communicated the same assurance, unsaid. I'm here. I'll never harm you. Time passed, but nothing seemed to change. Lawrence's family pleaded him to abandon the effort before something terrible happened. His friends shook their heads, convinced he was risking everything for a dream that would never come to life. Even seasoned wildlife experts believed he had reached the end of the road. Lawrence listened to every warning. Then he climbed back into his van and parked beside the herd once again. He ate another simple meal and settled in for another night beneath the African sky. Then he waited for the moment everyone else believed would never come. Days turned into weeks. Very little changed. Nana watched every move Lawrence made. The younger elephant stayed close behind her. Then one evening, something paused. Nana lifted her head and looked straight at Lawrence. For a brief moment, she simply watched. Every visit answered another question in Nana's mind. Will this man hurt us? Will he force us? Will he betray us? Each day, Lawrence's wordless answer remained the same. No! Slowly, the distance between them narrowed. One young elephant stepped closer, the second followed. Little by little, fear gave way to trust. Even Nana began to lower her guard. She remained the leader, the protector. Yet, her family was beginning to see Lawrence differently. One man showed up every single day with patience, respect, and kindness. The largest land mammals noticed. Elephants observe far more than people know. Scientists have found that they can recognize dozens of individual voices. They communicate through deep rumbles that travel for miles. They remember kindness for years. Lawrence was watching those magnificent gestures from only a few steps away. He believed he was saving the wildlife giants. Soon he would discover that the elephants were changing him just as much. Lawrence knew that one wrong step could erase everything he had worked for. Then, one morning, the impossible happened. Nana walked toward Lawrence with hushed steps. Every member of the herd watched their leader. The workers held their breath. Lawrence stood exactly where he was. The distance between them shortened. 10 feet, 5 feet, then only a few. For a moment, Nana studied Lawrence's face. She lifted her trunk, stretching it toward the man who had refused to give up on her family. Then it happened. Nana lifted her trunk and touched Lawrence. That single touch said more than words ever could. The wall of fear that stood between humans and those elephants for years finally melted. Lawrence had earned something far greater than victory. He had earned a friend. From that moment on, nothing was ever the same. The elephants no longer rushed toward the fence. The panic gradually dissolved. The younger elephants became more playful again. The family started behaving the way elephant families are meant to. Lawrence had given them something they thought they had lost forever. Safety. The same people who had expected failure now watched with dropped jaws. Many asked Lawrence the same question. How did you do it? Lawrence smiled and then his heart spoke. I did not teach the elephants anything. They have taught me. Lawrence often said that people admire an elephant's stature. He admired her heart. Animals respond to the energy people bring into their world. Lawrence never treated the elephants as attractions. He regarded them as intelligent beings. Over time, the elephants began recognizing his voice long before they could see him. Instead of moving away, they often inched closer. People from around the world wanted to understand what had happened inside that reserve. How had a herd once marked for destruction become so connected to one man? Lawrence decided to share the story. He wrote a book, The Elephant Whisperer. Soon, people around the world were reading his story. The book was filled with remarkable moments, surprising lessons, and unforgettable experiences. Yet, its greatest message was amazingly simple. Every living creature wants to feel safe. When fear ends, the impossible becomes possible. Years passed. The bond between Lawrence and the majestic creatures continued to grow. Visitors often stood in awe as elephants approached him with complete confidence. By then, many people started calling Lawrence the Elephant Man. Yet, Lawrence never saw him as the hero. In his heart, the transcript always belonged to Nana and her family. They gave me one of the greatest gifts of my life, he once shared. They allowed me into their world. life at the reserve found its pulse. People came from far and wide to see what patience and kindness had made possible. A herd once marked for destruction was now living in peace. Yet, in every interview, every conversation, every page Lawrence wrote, he gave the credit back to the elephants. They changed me. Those 3 words meant more than any speech ever could. Then, on March 2, 2012, came a heartbreaking turn. Lawrence Anthony had departed this life at the age of 61. His family was devastated. Friends grieved the loss of a man who had spent his life protecting creatures that had no voice of their own. It seemed like the end of an extraordinary tale. Then, something unusual happened. Something that still leaves people searching for answers. How did they know? The next day, people at the reserve noticed movement. The herd of the elephants was on the move. It was Nana. Close behind came another related elephant family. Together, the 2 herds crossed nearly 20 miles to reach Lawrence's home. They marched for about 2 days across dusty trails, through the scorching sun, through the darkness of the night, over rugged terrain. Nothing stood in their way. No one had told them of Lawrence's final exit. Yet somehow, the mighty creatures came. Even more astonishing, they arrived soon after the man who had devoted his life to protecting them had rested in peace. According to people at the reserve, the elephants remained near Lawrence's home for about 2 days. They did not tear down the fences. They did not search for food. They did not wander into nearby communities. They simply stood together, silent, patient, almost as though they had lost a family member. Scientists continue to study elephant intelligence, their phenomenal memory, and their ability to communicate across vast distances. Even so, no one has been able to say with certainty what led those 2 herds to that unforgettable visit. It felt as though the elephants had come for one reason: to say a final goodbye to the man who had treated them with patience, dignity, and love. Then, just as peacefully they had arrived, the herds turned. Nana led the way. One by one, the elephants followed. The guardians of the wild disappeared into the African bush, leaving behind a trail that continues to inspire millions, and a question that still rings around the world. How did they know? Perhaps future discoveries will answer it. Perhaps they will not. There's an old saying, people may forget your words, people may forget your actions, but they remember how you made them feel. 9 elephants were given another chance, and because of their choice, millions of people across the world still believe that the strongest force between humans and animals is neither fear nor power. It is trust. 9 terrified elephants. A decision that saved their lives and a farewell that leaves us asking, how did they know? Thank you.